Welcome back, everybody. Bit of a dynamic start to the day, isn't it? It's gloriously warm at a stonking 13 degrees Celsius. It's forecast to be a little bit warmer than that today, but yeah, we can't complain, certainly. And tending to a few things back home today. Subject of the day, the subject of the month really is microscopes, something I used to work with a lot in the past, and taking a bit of a renewed interest in that as a very much as an amateur now, renovating old stuff, getting decades more use out of things which are already decades old. So only a local trip today. I can't say I'm 100% sure as to where I'm going, but that's okay, that's how it goes with a motorbike. Thought I might head out to Anglesey Sea Zoo, or the area nearby anyway. I won't be going in. I'm not sure if it's probably not open at the moment, till Easter I guess, and not really the kind of place that I would go to now that the kids have grown up. But a nice seaside location anyway, just opposite Carnarvon. So we'll get the drone out and see if we can get a few more kilometres out of it before it gives up. And have a new one on the cards, not too distant future. Still a load of salt, the roads are red. Yep, emergency services somewhere. Probably on the A55 I guess. So yeah, still very red roads of salt, but at least it's not wet, so there's no pressing need to wash the bike. I had a look at the exposed metal parts a day or two ago after the last outing in the salt, and no, there's no sign of any rust at all. So with a little bit of luck we'll get some rain over the weekend, wash all this stuff away, and then we shall wash the bike. Hopefully that will be the end of the salting season. Right, another road less travelled. Avoid going through Llanfairpg, the little village with a world-beating long name. Second longest name anyway now. But not the safest of roads, this one. Even by Anglesey standards, this is a pretty dangerous road because of some very blind corners. We'll take it steady, it's fine. It's not so bad if people expect to come across other people and drive accordingly. And if you think you're on a country road and you're the only one on it, and you're probably in for a bit of a nasty surprise, as is the person coming the other way. So yeah, it's no point rushing on roads like this. The quality's too bad to start off with. Here comes another one. At least he stopped. Thank you. There you go, that's fine, isn't it? A little bit too quick though. So we'll join the main road here, far from Plas Newydd country house or mansion. Maybe we probably have visited. Awkward junction, this one. Yeah, it's getting quite warm behind the visor. Right, get away quite quickly. 50-mile-an-hour limit here. Yeah, it's quite a nice road, this one, for biking. It takes you around the west coast of Anglesey if you follow it all the way around, which is quite pleasant, and I'm sure many of you will have come along here visiting the Anglesey racetrack, or the Anglesey circuit, which is very popular, cars and bikes alike. This is past now with somebody who's decided that he's going to brake all the way in and indicate at the last minute. There you go. It kind of goes with the territory of the age of the people who go to places like that, I'm afraid. Being local, of course, we expect it all. Yeah, so yeah, if you're on Anglesey, this road is very much recommended. Of course, I can never remember what the number of it is, but I'll stick that in the video. Come off the Britannia Bridge, dual carriageway, turn left and left again, and you're on it. There you go. That's hello. Hello. Yes, well, at least he acknowledged. We'll let him get off that way. It's a funny thing, isn't it? If people acknowledge their mistakes, you kind of forgive them. If they give you the finger or something, then you don't. So there we are. It is awkward there, actually. It's I was approaching in part or full shadow. So we're coming into the village of Brinchenkin. Not an awful lot to write home about here. We're going to take a left turn here on the corner. A small road. And, route towards Anglesey Seasea, which is oh, it's only about a mile or so along here, something like that. And just down this road, some years ago, when the children were still quite young, there's an excavation that the local archaeological trust undertook. And it was a Roman era village alongside a Roman trackway which led away from the Menai Strait, and it's long been a point of debate as to where exactly the Romans came across to invade Anglesey. It was thought it was more towards Vellinhelly or Port de Norwich as it's known in English. But after this excavation, it seems far more likely, in fact it seems almost certain, that they came across, perhaps not altogether unsurprisingly, opposite Carnarvon, what later became Carnarvon Castle, but before Carnarvon Castle the Romans had an encampment just to the rear of the castle called Segontium, and they would have come across at low tide. The sea level was a fair bit lower at that time, so at low tide they would have been able to come across swimming their horses quite readily. And it's just in a field to my left here. if you go metal detecting, with permission of course, you will find things from the Roman period, from the time of Richard I. I found a Richard I coin many years ago without metal detecting, but in fact found it on the surface just by looking. Much to my considerable shame and irritation, I've lost it. I think it must have fallen out of a box that I had it kept in. But there we are, these things happen. There's a silver coin, in quite good condition as well. I have a photograph of it, so I'll stick that up. And here we are, down at the shore over the Nye Strait, the Anglesey shore of course. Just see Carnarvon across the way in the haze. And the tide is quite high, just beginning to go out I think. And here's Hallenmorn, not Halenmorn, Halenmorn, all sorts of different ways of saying it, which is wrong. It's Hallenmorn. Where they make the sea salt. There's also the sea zoo. Open to all members of the public. Gosh, that must mean it's even open to me. Which is quite a thing. Actually, quite a good place to go. Some work colleagues, or students as they were then, of mine run it now. Delan and Frankie, or at least Frankie. I haven't heard of Delan for a while. But hey, let's stop here for a bit, shall we? It's a sensible sort of place to stop, isn't it? There we are, that was Sea Zoo and Hallenmorn, and a quick view of an old private harbour, I think it was, for an old sort of trader's house really, opposite on the Carnarvon side. we go. Pretty much already there. A bit of walking, but it's only a few minutes. I got some people here already. There we go. This road here. There. Over the gravel, bit of off-roading. There we go. Well, that was Castell Bryn, not Caerleb as I earlier said. I'm sure Caerleb's around here somewhere, but that's a separate one. But anyway, Castell Bryn, originally built about 2,000 years ago. 2,000 years before Christ, before the Common Era, as we call it these days. And then it's not surprisingly been reused by the Romans and later, so it's quite a survivor, that one. Met some ladies, one from the Netherlands and one was more local. They weren't very impressed by what they saw, which is understandable. It's just an earth bank now, really, and of course they expected to see a castle because they colloquially call it a castle, but it's a earth and ditch structure, not a castle in the medieval sense. But they were pleasant enough, and were asking where they might go to get some nice walks and see a nice sunset, so I set them off in the right direction. They're on the right side of the island, certainly, and there's a fair few hours to go before that happens. So we're going to take a spin back home. Right, so we'll go around the corner, still in a speed zone, and head on the road known as Lornvilltir, the mile road, because it's a mile long. It leads us into Newborough, which was established in the 13th century when Edward I wanted to build his castle at Beaumaris, so he turfed everybody out of Beaumaris and resettled everybody over here in the way that I don't know, somebody like Trump would do today, I suppose. There we are. That's Mile Road done. Okay, so we've decided to take the slightly longer way back home, make our way a little bit further along the west coast. It's such a nice warm day. I'll be able to throw a little bit of drone footage in of the church in the sea. Right, here we go. We've got a nice clear run for a mile and a half or so. this bit is essentially a filled in river estuary, filled in with sand over the years. The landscape around here changed a lot in a very big storm of 1313, where the sand dunes made a huge advance, buried a village, Newborough actually. No trace of it can be found now. Oh, look, you've got a horse coming up. Yes, yes, I can see a bloody horse. So this is a filled in estuary. There we go. This is Aberfrau, which is Welsh royal connections, believe it or not. It's a bit of a humdrum village now, but pretty all the same. You might recognise this as the run-up to Anglesey racing circuit, which is just on our left there. There's an old RAF base. I forget exactly what the purpose of it was. It had radar stations there latterly. It's a pretty popular racing circuit now. Noisy though it is, it's not the best place in the world for putting a noisy racing circuit. It is an area of outstanding natural beauty, but you know, money talks, and landed gentry money talks even louder. So there we are. Of course, it was all granted lawfully and all the rest. So what can you do? But there's a small company there that does motorbike training that my daughter went to when she was doing her CBT, and yeah, very friendly, very efficient. She came out of there having never ridden a bike at all, giving out quite a competent rider, fair play. Having a hiatus from it now whilst she's at university, but like so many of us, I'm sure she'll come back to it a little bit later on. A hobby certainly that's got a good share of female participants, unlike so many other pastimes. So yeah, long may that develop. Another Neolithic burial chamber here, Parcwad Yaragowres. It's got a very odd solar panel on top of it, but there we are. It's been reconstructed. It was actually exposed until Liverpool University, in fact, as a nod to my daughter's studies at the moment there. They excavated it in the 1960s, I think it was, and it was covered over with a modern concrete structure. All worth seeing. It's got motifs carved on the rocks which connect it to the Boyne Valley in Southern Ireland. More commonly used locally for leaning into the wind on stormy days. Makes for an interesting experience. You can lean at about 40 degrees into the wind and just sort of stay there without any effort. So that's pretty much it for today's little jaunt. Just had to get out really. Hope you enjoyed it. Learned something new about Anglesey. And, catch you on the next one, as they say.